Hello to all. Hope everyone is doing well. You know that in many communities there's a tradition that during Hanukkah you play games of chance. Obviously, the dreidel, which we are all familiar with, but in other communities they would actually also play cards. Perhaps it indicates, or perhaps it's to teach us the idea that the more important that which you desire, the more you are willing to gamble. In other words, if let's say I have the opportunity of winning $1,000, I'm willing to go ahead and bet with $1, even if the odds are not great, because $1,000 is far more than $1. And perhaps the lesson is that the Hashmonaim who fought the superpower, the Syrian Greeks, were willing to do it against the odds because they knew how important their mission was. Perhaps that's what it symbolizes. In some communities, some rabbis were actually a little bit critical of the fact that people put too much time into the card games, and there was a level of bitul Torah, right, nullifying time that could be used for something more useful. But by others, it was actually encouraged. And there's a story of a specific Rebbe who walked in on the 8th night of Hanukkah to the klois, to the little shtibel, and he saw some of the Hasidim playing cards, or perhaps it was dreidel, and he noted to them, you should know that throughout Hanukkah when you play, you might win that night, but the next day you might lose it. The 8th day of Hanukkah is very special because whatever you gain, whatever you win, remains with you. Because after that, there's no dreidel or card games anymore. And what he was really telling them was that those things that you are mindful of during Zos Hanukkah, the last day of Hanukkah, they remain with you. It's a very significant day in many communities. And by all of us, I think we understand that we should appreciate the day with the most light, the 8th night and the 8th day of Hanukkah. We have the tradition of reading on the 8th day the section in Parashat Bahalotcha where Aaron HaKohen was told, you're going to be the one to light the candles in the Bet HaMikdash. And the Nachmanides, the Ramban, based on a Midrash, notes that Aaron HaKohen, when he saw the gifts that were offered by the leaders of the tribes during the inauguration of the tabernacle, felt a little bit left out because Aaron did not play a role and did not bring one of those gifts. And the Almighty tells him, you should know what you're going to be doing is far more valuable. You're going to be lighting the menorah. Now, the simple understanding is that Balot Chait HaNerot, you Aharon HaKohen, will be lighting the menorah in the Bet HaMikdash, in the temple. But according to the Midrash, with Nachmanides reading, what Aharon HaKohen was told was the following: you should know that the wonderful gifts that were brought, that's for the inauguration of the tabernacle, and eventually there will be a temple. But even when we don't have the temple in Yerushalayim, we don't have the Bet HaMikdash, we're going to still have Chanukkah. That's the menorah that's being referred to. And it remains with us. We have the opportunity to do something that connects us to that structure that's the hub of our spiritual existence. Hanerot halalu kodeshem. When we make that statement, it's a statement that's really declaring that these candles are like an item that comes from the temple. It is very meaningful. It's a very special time. This year was more difficult. We did not have the opportunity of coming together like other years. But it was still a time to go ahead and think about the light that we create, that when we do the right thing, right, when we address issues the way we should, when we have a good attitude, when we are grateful, that is the light we create. And that light will live on, and we'll take it with us beyond the 8th day of Hanukkah. It's an opportunity to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, and it should be indeed very meaningful. And all the best. Bye-bye.